Hey, welcome back. So in this tutorial, we're going to create a canvas, which is going to be our player HUD. So it's going to display our level that we're on. It's going to display the number of pickups remaining. It's going to display the time that we've been playing the game expressed in seconds and minutes. And then we're also going to add in the number of collectibles that we have collected. And that'll actually be in the next tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to focus on those first three or four things, and then we'll worry about getting the collectibles in, because we're also going to have to create a game instance and do some changes to some of our other blueprints in order to make that work. So to keep this one a little bit shorter, we're not going to get into the game instance. We'll get into the game instance next time. All right, so if this is the first time you're joining me, this is Putting on the Fritz 3D visualization. We've been working on this game, the Rollerball game, for a little while now, so you can jump back in, check out some of the previous videos, get caught up. It's kind of modular, so you don't have to do everything that is in there to get caught up, just some of the basic stuff, put in the things you want, leave other things out, and we can go from there. So anyway, if you like what you see, please subscribe. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at what we're working on here. Okay, so this is my demo level, okay, that we've built out. This is level 1. So if I hit play, you'll see that up here I have 3 coins remaining. Those are the 3 coins that are up here on this platform with me. You can see that it says level 1 at the very center, and then there's the time running on the right-hand side. The coins collected, like I said, we'll do next time. But this particular one already has it set up, so I'm going to go ahead and go in and pick up these coins. And you can see that it's counting down for my coins remaining from 3 to 0. Now I have 0 left, and if I go here, it's going to drop me off at my next level. I'm now at level 2. It says I have 3 coins remaining on here. Pick all those up, and then go on to my level 3, and here's my level 3. And again, 3 coins. I guess I could have got a little bit more creative, change the numbers up so you can see that it actually does work, but trust me, it does. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and jump out of that, and we're going to go back into, there we go. All right, so move that out of the way. Over here, this has kind of been my demo world that we've been putting things in. There's the last project we did, which was the sign, I believe. And now we're going to go ahead and put in the coins. And with the sign, you can also use it as an instruction. I guess I'll go ahead and plug that real quick. You can use it as an instruction to the player when they hit the level. If you decide to change it up so they don't have to get all the coins on your level, you can tell them how many coins they have to get. And of course, you can always go back into the win volume and change that. And that might be something I show briefly here at the end if we have time. All right, so the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to need to go to our content drawer. So down here at the bottom. And I'm going to jump back into my content. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to make a new folder first. And I'm going to call this folder UI, okay, for user interface. And I also think that maybe changing the color codes on some of these so that they kind of jump out to be the ones that we use all the time, because we've got some other things in here that we may not be using as much. So if I click on a folder, right click, I can set the color to whatever I want, and I'm going to put my levels at green, and that's not what I wanted. So you can kind of get the idea. I'm not going to waste a lot of time, but once you pick a color, you can use that same color, and if you change a color to something different, so like my maps here, I can change it to a different color if I want. Maybe I'll make it like brownish. Okay, and now you can see that, of course, I don't know why I did that. It's pretty much the same color as what it was. Okay, we're going to go ahead and double click on our UI here. And I'm going to right click. And we're going to go down here to the one that says user interface. And we're going to pick this bottom one. It's a widget blueprint. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just use this top one, common one, user widget. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and type W underscore for widget. Okay. And we're going to call this player HUD. Okay. And Yeah, that'll probably work. I'm going to double click on that, open it up, and I'm going to grab the tab, pull that all the way up here so we can see it. And right now it's pretty much just a big blank empty space. What we do need to do is we're going to need to create the area that we're going to have for our HUD here. Let me see here. Actually, what I'm going to do up here is I'm going to type in here canvas panel. We're going to get a canvas panel, and I'm going to drag that and drop it right here on top of my player HUD. Okay, so now we have this canvas panel that's going to be our work area. This is going to be the actual canvas that we want. So again, type up in here, drag it down here, and drop it on top of your player HUD, and it'll center it where we want it. Okay, so it'll be right here. Corner will be 0, 0. Okay, we'll go down to 1,000, a little over 1,000. So it should look a lot like this. Okay. All right, so with that piece done, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to X out that so we get rid of the canvas up in here and we get all of our little common buttons back in here again. And now what I'm going to do is I want a text for my, I'm going to put it right here in the center. So I'm going to grab this text, I'm going to click and drag, I'm going to drop it here, and that's going to be a text block, okay? And this is going to be our level. And I'll just put in level, I'm just going to put like level 7. Since I don't have a level 7, I know that this will get replaced when it should be going and working the way we want it to, all right? So now the next thing I want to do is right under here where it says color and opacity, it might be hidden under your appearance. I'm not sure how it's set up by default because I play around with it, but down in here we're going to find color and opacity, and I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to change it to a color that I want to use. Last time on my demo I was using blue. Maybe I'll use red. I don't know. Let's see what that looks like. Find the reds that I want. There we go. Okay. And I'm not getting the red I want. Come on. There we go. All right. Play around with it a little bit to get the red finally. Then right here where it says font, I'm going to hit the down arrow. Now, you may only have the Roboto font family installed on your Unreal Engine, okay? And that's probably because you haven't added any fonts into your game. In the last video, I showed you how to add fonts in, and I have this Masiku font that I used as my demonstration last time to get it in there. So I'm going to use that one since that's the only other one I have. And I'm going to change it to that. And then I'm going to change my size down here on my font to 45. And I'm going to kind of grab this box and make it so it stretches over it. All right, so the next thing I want to do is all the way up here at the top where it says anchors, I'm going to hit the down arrow. I'm going to change my anchor to be centered. And then I'm going to grab this text box and I'm going to try to center it up. Okay, and just kind of put it up towards the top a little bit so it's out of the way of the player. And so now what we need to do is we need to actually add the functionality, and it's going to get rid of this word level 7. So even if we didn't put anything in there, it would change it for us the way we're going to do it. Okay, so right down here where it says content, we have text, and where we typed in level 7, right here where it says bind, okay, I'm going to click on that. I'm going to create a binding. All right. When I do that, notice up here at the top, it changes us from our designer to our graph. And this is our graph that's going to actually give us the functionality of our level name, okay? All right, and this is actually going to be pretty simple. We're just going to go ahead and drag this out. I'm going to pull this over a little bit. Wow, okay. Having one of those days already, I can see. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag out from this one. Actually, let's go ahead and name this first. I'm going to click on where it says Get Text. I'm going to double click in there. Try to anyway. And we're going to call this Get Level Name. Okay, because that's what this is going to do. It's going to get the level name for us. Now I'm going to drag out from the Execute pin. And I'm going to get current level name. Okay, get current level name. I'm going to drag this over here, and I think if I plug that in, it's going to go ahead and do it just right for us. If we plug that right in there, we're going to get this toText to string. So now what it should do is it should give that for us. Let's go ahead and compile that and save it. Okay. So it should return our level name, and we don't actually need to append it because what it's going to do is going to overwrite our title. Okay, so I'm going to go back in, and now the next thing we need to do actually is we need to activate it so that this HUD will become visible. So we need to go to our player pawn. Okay, so we're going to open up our content, and we're going to go ahead and set this up now so that we can test this as we go along. And I'm going to go back to my content. I'm going to go to my blueprints. I'm going to find my pawn and get my player pawn. Okay, and then right here above camera fade, I'm going to put, actually we need to use, yeah, we're going to need to use this one right here, the event camera fade. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull off from this point right here. So I'm going to just pull this out a little bit, expand it so it stays inside here. I'm going to pull off from here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to create widget. Okay, so we're going to create a widget, and then right here where it says class, we're going to hit the down arrow, and we should have our W player HUD pop up in here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select that, and now I'm going to pull out from here, and we're going to add to viewport. Okay, and our target should be this. Now, this should work with our pawn, since it's a pawn and not a character. So let's go ahead and compile it. We may have to do one more step, but let's go ahead and see real quick. If I hit play, there we go. We've got our level 1. And if I were to get all 3 of these coins, go ahead and test it out. Head over to my, I think there's only 3 coins. I hope there are. All right, so I go over here, and that should take me to my level 2. And up at the top, it should change to the name of your level. All right, so far so good. All right, so now we've got it so that our HUD actually is working, and we actually have our level into it. So let's go ahead and jump back into our W player HUD blueprint up here. Up here at the top where it says designer, we're going to select our designer again. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get the coins remaining. So we're going to pull another text box out here, and I'm going to go ahead and go through the same processes. Now I'm going to use the anchor that's already there because it's in the left-hand corner. I'm just going to leave it there, and I'm going to kind of line it up so that it's near my level 7. I am going to change the font size down to 20. I'm going to change the color so it matches the color I'm using. I'm going to use the eyedropper right here. I'm going to go in and hover over it and select that so I get the same color. I'm going to go back to my text there, and now I'm going to change my font again if you have a font to change to. If not, just use the Roboto. You can always download and get the font later on. All right, so now we've got that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and name this coins remaining so we know what this one's supposed to be. Okay, and I'm going to put a semicolon there, or colon rather. All right, not that it matters because we're going to be changing this completely out too. All right, so now we've got that basically set up. Okay, we are going to go ahead and we're going to click here. We're going to create a binding for this. Okay, and inside our graphs, what we're going to do is we're going to, again, double click here on the text 0 if I can get it to behave. I'm going to go ahead and change this to get coins remaining. Okay, and now remember when we first set our coins up, we set them up so that they have a tag, right? So it should be a nice, simple, easy. So we're going to get all actors, and we want the one with tag right here, okay? All actors with tag. And that tag is going to be the same tag that we named for our collectibles. So if you're not sure what that was, we can go back into our content drawer, go to our blueprints, actors, pickups, okay? And inside here, let's see, where did I put that? Well, actually, that's in our win volume. So, but that's okay. We can get it from here. We're just going to go ahead and type in tag right here. And there it is. Okay, that's what we did. So I'm just going to double click that. I'm going to Control C and copy it. Click off of that. We don't need that anymore. Go back to my player HUD. And right in here, I'm going to Control V, paste that in there so it's identical, because again, it needs to be identical in order for it to work correctly. Pull this over to the left a little bit, give me more space. Out from here, we're going to use the same method. We're going to go ahead and type in length like we did last time. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use something called an append, right? So we're going to right click right here. And we're going to type in append, and what this is going to do, and we want the append string right down here, okay, the append string, because we're going to convert this into a string, but we're also going to add words in front of it, okay? So I'm going to take this output, it's going to convert it for me from an integer into a string, and then right up here where the A is, I'm going to just click in there, and this is where I'm going to type in coins remaining. And I'm going to put a colon at the end and hit the space bars to give myself a space so that it'll start printing right after. So not right after the colon, but one space after the colon, okay? And then now I'm just going to go ahead and go here, connect it up. And again, it's going to give me that to string. And there we have it, okay? I'm going to go ahead and compile, save it, go back to my game. I'm going to hit play. All right, so now I got my count for my coins up at the top, and it says coins remaining 3. And if I pick up one of these coins, it should reduce it to 2, to 1, and to 0. Okay? All right, so that part's working. Now let's go ahead and just do a file, save all real quick. Okay, I'm going to go back to my HUD. I'm going to go back to my designer right up here in the right-hand corner. And this time, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to add in our time, okay? We're not going to do coins collected yet. We could certainly put that text up there, but we'll save that for next time, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and grab out my text, and I'm just going to drop it right there. Same thing as last time, except this time the anchor is going to be over in the right-hand side. Okay, so I'm going to put the anchor there. I'm going to change the color to match the other color. I'm going to select back on it. Change my font if you have font to change. Okay, I'm going to give it a name, and this is going to be time. Okay, and I'm going to use a colon on it, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to overwrite it anyway. And I'm going to make sure I have enough space in there, so I'm going to pull this all the way out to the right to give it a lot of room so that we have room for our timer to go in there. And change the font to 20. So now we've got our time set up in here, and what we're going to do is we need to add the binding to it, just like last time. So right here, content, text, right where we wrote in time, we're going to click down binding. We're going to create a binding for it. Okay, and this one's going to be called get time. Okay, and actually I think I'm going to call it get game time. That way we know specifically that we're getting the time for the game. All right, so there's already a function written for that, okay? We don't have to actually do any programming. So if we just right-click and we type in get game time, and we want get game time in seconds, okay? So we're going to get game time in seconds. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do time seconds to string. Okay. And that's going to kind of change the format a little bit of the way it looks on our screen. I'm going to pull this back a little bit. All right. So again, we're going to go ahead and right-click. We're going to get append. Okay, and we want, again, another string append. We're going to plug this one into the B again. This one right here, you guessed it, we're going to type in time with a colon and a space to give us a little bit of space there. Okay. And now I'm just going to take this and connect it, and it's going to do that little conversion for me. And there we have it. We've got all of that put together. We're going to save it. Now I'm going to go back into my title here. I'm going to hit play. And there we have our time up in the upper right-hand corner, counting up as we go along, showing us in seconds and milliseconds there, it looks like. And it would continue to count up for as long as it takes for us to play our game. Okay. And this should also continue on. So if I go up to the next level, now I don't have any coins there, but all right, so it restarted our time. So, all right, so hopefully that was useful for you, and you were able to get something out of it, able to get your HUD set up. It was a pretty quick process, and next time we're going to go ahead and do the game instance so that this information moves from one to the next. All right, again, if you liked what you saw, please like the video. Please subscribe to Putting on the Fritz 3D Visualization, and I'll see you next time.